Okay, so I'm looking here at activity number 18, and there were some questions on making the charts. The two charts, when we're done, should look a lot like this. You notice the legend is over here on the right. We have percentages on each of the slices. And I'm going to go through the process of making these charts because there was some confusion, particularly on the second one. The first one was pretty easy. So I'm just going to delete these two charts. Okay, so let's get started on the first one. It was the easiest of the two. And let's see here. Select alpha 20 through Bravo 22. Alpha 20 through Bravo 22. You saw how I did that. I simply pressed and held the left mouse button down and drug over to there. Good. Okay. And create a chart. Good. Insert chart. And it actually put in a pie chart. If it didn't, we would click over here and we'd find the pie chart. Okay. Okay, so now I am going to move this off of my data just to start with, just so it's not in the way of anything and so I don't forget. Now I want to rename this chart, so I'm going to double click on the name right there, and you see how it's now selected. It says chart title January. And what did they want this? They want this called repair expenses. Okay. And we want that center aligned. You see where I'm at right there. And let's go ahead and make that font bold. Do they say anything else about it? Yeah, and they wanted 18-point font. Font size 18. Good. Okay. Axes title, not show axes titles. That makes no sense because there are no axes on a pie chart, so it's not relevant. Place the legend to the right of the chart. The legend is the part of a chart or map that tells you what the symbols mean. And big surprise, I'm going to come right down here to where it says legend. What I was sort of fishing over here for was whether or not I needed to scroll this bar down. I didn't. It's right there, legend. Okay, position. Right. Okay, what's next? And it tells me to do data labels. Show the data labels as a percentage. Okay, so I'm going to come up here to pie chart, slice label, and I'm going to go ahead and select percentage. Okay, and let's see here. Where's the position for that? They don't actually have position there. Okay, okay. Next thing we're going to do is format the colors. So I'm going to come over here to the first one here, which is repair expenses, dining. And you see I clicked on that, and I'm going to change the color to red. The next one, repair expenses, equipment, yellow. And the next one, repair expenses, rides. And it says to make it blue, but the problem when you make this blue, just to show you that blue, is now you can't see the label, the data there. And so that is something to be aware of. So instead of going with that blue, I'm going to go with something a little bit different, dark blue one. Now we can at least see that label. Okay, and that is the first chart, and it was pretty easy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the second chart. I'm going to start by showing you what goes wrong, and then we're going to work on fixing it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do up here, and I'm on step number 19, if you're wondering where I'm at, and then page number 81 on the PDF. Okay, 71, correction. Okay, is I'm going to go ahead and select B5, hold the control key down, C5, E5, G5, I5, and K5. Now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to select B23, C23, 23. You can see what I'm doing is I'm selecting the ones that have dollar values. Okay, making sure that all that lines up, meaning that these are all in the columns that have other selections in them. Okay, now here's where it goes bad. Insert, chart. It does this. Okay, and if you look, it's just a mess. So I'm going to come over here first in setup, and we're going to try to make this into a pie chart, okay? It's still a mess. This looks nothing like the numbers we have down there, okay? It's just a mess. And where did this even come from? No clue. Okay, so what we're going to have to do here is actually force the data into it. So I'm going to come up here to data range, okay, and I'm going to just get rid of that, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and type that in now, B23, comma, C23, comma, E23, comma, G23, comma, I23, comma, K23. Does that look right? Okay, we're not done yet, obviously. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to turn these off. Both of those off. We're still not done. Now I'm going to go to combine ranges and select vertical. Good. Now we've made some real progress, okay? Now let's double check and see which one is this one here, 14.1. Okay. Well, that's not going to be that useful. Okay, I'll just, this first one here, it's going to go left to right, and so the first one here is going to be January. So you see the box when I float over this label, I'm actually going to go ahead and double click in that box, and I'm going to type in January. Good. Now I'm going to come to this one, double click, February, and watch me spell February wrong. F-E. I feel like I spelled it wrong. The rest of them are easy, of course. February and March. I double clicked. May. And June. Okay. Normally, as you saw with the previous one, charts aren't this hard to make. The reason that it had the trouble is because we're selecting things basically in the middle of our table of data, okay? And that kind of confuses the whole system, where it's figuring out what it is you want to do. Or by the way, the correct word for these systems that try to figure out what you want to do and provide you with a result based on what that is, they're called wizards, okay? And the wizard is wrong for this one, is the only issue. Now, okay, the title. Yeah, now we're to the easy part. Salary expenses, January to June. Okay. So I double clicked on the title. We're again going to center align that. They want the font to be 18 point. I'm going to go ahead and make that color black. Okay, so that part's done. The next thing they want is the legend on the right. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit, select legend, and I'm going to come over here and select on the right. Now, if you hadn't typed those in, you would only have the dots and you wouldn't have the names, but you do have the option. You could type it in at this point. So if you got to this point and you only have the dots, not the names, you can go ahead and put those in over here, just to let you know. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, is slice label, percentages, and that was pretty much it. We're just going to now go ahead and move this off of our data. So it's, come on, click somewhere on the chart, press and hold. There it goes. And I'm going to scroll down a little ways, just make sure you guys see something here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so you guys can see what I'm doing here, okay? That was the wrong way. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to select this one. And that red line is telling me that they're lined up. That's what I want you to see. Okay, that's how to do the charts.